Greetings, folks, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We shall go around and say hi to the folks who are present with us today, starting with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I use she, her pronouns, as does Shah Gamelan, my character, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries.
And now we go over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I am Arras. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Excellent. Anino, hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Nino. I use he, him pronouns, and my character is Mac the Husk, the itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits. He, him pronouns for him as well.
Okay. All right. And now we head over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, my name is Danielle, and I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Vormera Vanos, aka Vor. And Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Okay. Awesome. And once again, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're doing okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O, and let us know if we're still doing okay. So, now comes the time when I try to remember what happened last time. We had a development session in between for Mac, but so there was some advancement there. But prior to that, prior to that in our timeline, we had. I think, let's see, for some reason, I am utterly freaking blanking. I know something happened, but I can't remember what it was. Does anyone remember what happened last time?
We went and broke into Karen's house.
Yes.
And we conducted the beseechment, I think it was, ritual for Igthamal. And Karen came back, but we managed to distract her with a messy downstairs and a little bit of magic.
And champagne.
Yes, and some champagne, judiciously placed. And so we did actually get to talk to Igthamal and learn a little bit about what's going on.
Yes, excellent. So yes, you did speak to Igthamad of the Eight Paths, true spider cousin to... Well, no, wait, I can't say who they're cousin to yet. Here, let me read my notes to you. No. Yes. No, so you did that. And they talked about a little bit more specifics about... there's a looking glass that you're looking for, I believe. In particular, that has been hidden, and you've kind of sussed out that it's probably hidden in Alistair's shoes, the shoe store run by Alistair. Oddly enough, Alistair also runs sometimes the pawn shop, and so that was the thing. And I think, yeah, Shaw was back at the mine and then had to deal with some stuff And so you were not all together, but we are now once again at the time when we can conceivably reconvene. Was everyone else here last time? Was there anyone who was not here for any of last time? Okay. As I slowly try to remember. Okay.
Was I here last week?
I can't
What was
remember.
the date last week? I don't think I was here last week. Was that the 11th? Yeah, no, I wasn't here.
That was the 11th. Okay, all right. Cool. My brain got dumped into Don't Rest Your Head earlier today, so there's very multiple games in a day. Yay. All right. So yeah, no, cool. So yeah, Saroshka probably also wants to be caught up on things, I'm guessing. So would you folks like to reconvene? What would you like to do?
You're muted.
Suppose we can reconvene at Shaw's place. Figured that we would. It's the closest safe place for us, I guess, after escaping Karen.
Plus, we need to make sure Shaw's okay. She kind of disappeared on us.
Yeah. I think that Shaw would actually be a lot more together and hospitable than she had been last time. But yeah, she has like a pretty solid sheen of metal flecks on her face at this point. And the cage that she's been carrying is now wrapped in this really beautiful embroidered cloth. And yeah, she looks a little bit, I'm going to say almost a little bit full of hubris at this point. So, yeah. So I think that she would have been happy to send a message to Eroshka and be like, we're all hanging out and having coffee. You should come by.
Will do.
It is eminently doable. Turns out there are many ways to message people. There's, if nothing else, Karen has put has put a pneumatic tube system in, so there's that. And then also there's the noosphere, if anyone wants to take a stab at that. But it's just a question of how one desires to do things. But yes, you reconvene at Shaw's place. I think June has to return to their home to check something out, and basically when you go back to when you lift up the couch cushion to see if June's doing okay, the door's gone. So evidently the house has moved once again. But before leaving, June did provide you with the information on a couple of Alistair's businesses that they remember. And so yeah, you do have the pawn shop. You also have the up further north. There's a there's a shoe shop. Anyway, what would you like to do? So you're all meeting at Shaw's place.
Well, it sounds like the next step is to find this mirror then. Is there a way to handle it without it, being a mirror?
So at that, you see Mac is actually kicked back on the couch, and he's actually reading a book that he picked up from their study session at the library called The Safe Handling of Mirrors. And he isn't paying attention, but, if you glance over, that's what he's reading now.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah. What's going on?
Care to share what's in the book about mirrors and how to handle said mirrors?
In big letters, this chapter says, "Do not stare into mirror for excessive periods of time."
Seems reasonable. Anything else?
Yeah. It's really good at capturing things.
The mirror is good at capturing things. But
Yes.
don't they spread?
Well, I suppose that's the case. And he'll start flipping through to see if there's an index to the book and see if he can glean any major points that he should be aware of.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it talks about mirrors being used for different purposes. One of which is storage, and then another of which involves. They hint that there's some sort of thing about soul transposition that goes in that can go on with a mirror, and that again has to do with either looking into it or being around it. Mirrors have a lot of very interesting properties that a lot of folks do view as chaotic. It is often viewed as a dangerous thing, a path to go down, the use of mirrors. But apparently there are things you can do with them. And there are different ways you can. It's usually anyway when you want to hide something in a mirror. There's like a weird sort of. There's usually something based on some visual element that's usually the key to getting at it. Whatever it is you're hiding in there. Something about the way the reflection is set up.
Oh, okay. Is there a section on what happens when you break a mirror?
There is. It is said not recommended, but it not recommended from the front. As it says that basically it's apparently there is a slight chance when you break a mirror. This doesn't necessarily happen all the time, but when you break a mirror, sometimes. The soul will break of whoever it's reflecting will also break into a number of pieces. That's a possibility.
Oh, okay. Well, if I remember Igthama's comments, she had mentioned that all we need to do is shine this mirror at the seeker for a short period of time in order to trap it.
Yeah. Specifically, she said to bring it up close to it, for a period that's approximately like 15 to 20 seconds.
Suppose we should go find the mirror first.
Yes. So the mirror is in Alistair's shoe.
As far as we know.
Which one would think would be at the shoe store.
One would assume.
Although it could actually be Alistair's actual shoe.
Well, if Alistair's there, we could check both at the same time.
That's true. That's true. Well, I think that this all sounds fine and that, Mac, you clearly have the handling of the mirror under control, so we'll leave that up to you. I guess we're ready to go then. Is everybody done with their coffee? Shaw will very quickly gather all these metal cups and things and put them back in the
We'll
kitchen.
Shotgun the rest of her coffee. And then chase it with some champagne.
Coffee with a champagne chaser. Is that? Yeah, that's good. That's
Sounds
good.
delicious, doesn't it?
I mean, there is a flask, like a one of those decanters of whiskey on her side table as well, if you needed whiskey instead of of champagne. She's not a heathen.
Yeah, whiskey probably would taste better. Yeah.
So then I guess we all head off. Do we know where this place is? We got directions from...
I believe we do.
Yep, yes you did.
I wonder what could possibly be the reason why there's shoes behind Jim.
I don't understand why either. They just sort of showed up there. I'm not sure how this happened, but
Magic.
yeah, it's probably it. So yes, no, you head north. The Alistair's shoes is actually up on Delahan Street. So you head up once again into that neighborhood. You see there are. So you see these boots in the window as you're coming up. A lot of sort of cowboy boot looking things. And as you head in, you look and you see many varieties of shoes for different people, different sizes, obviously, but it's different types of people. You got a front showroom that has most of everything on it. So, as you're entering, you see this big guy who has kind of the head of a walrus is coming forward. And you say, "Oh, welcome. How can I assist you?"
Cuckoo-ca-choo.
Now. You're looking for we need someone getting size today? Anyone looking to purchase something? Or do you just want to look around?
I think we're just looking around. Where our friend June said that you had a very interesting shop.
Ah, yes, that rapscallion. Yes, it's we pride ourselves on our product here. And he sort of gestures around, and you're looking around, and you see as he's sort of stepping back and he's gesturing around, there is this one sort of area off to the side between a couple of big displays. In this kind of, the two displays make a kind of corridor leading up to it. And you see this big mirror on the wall.
I would like to point to it, and I'm just gonna be like, it's a bold move, including a mirror on your premises.
Ah, yes. Well, and he sort of turns around and he starts heading kind of in this direction. The thing being, folks need to be able to see what they're putting on their feet. You'll notice it's angled just a bit. Does not show the eyes. That's rather an important part.
Of course, that seems very important. Vor looks back over her shoulder at the
This I picked up after this cost me dearly. This I picked it up quite a long time ago, back sometime before the war, under the silver sun. It was it was a glorious thing. It was a good day.
Must be quite the special mirror since you got it from the Silver Sun.
He nods. He says, "Well, it's very special to me, at least." And yeah, he as he's sort of looking it up and down, it's looking at it proudly.
Is this the only looking glass you have?
Oh goodness, yes. I don't want to have them multiplying.
Ugh.
Of course not.
No. Mayfra says hello, by the way.
Who?
You don't know a Mayfra?
Mayfair. Sounds familiar. I might. I know so many people. I think I do know a Mayfair. I do know a Mayfair. Actually, yes, I do know a Mayfair. I can't place her at the moment, but I do know her.
How about a Roxanne?
Come again?
Roxanne?
Jim would like to ask who.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of Iron Man for some reason.
Oh, okay. It's like wrong corporation. Accent, and you say accent. He's like, no, can't say I'm familiar with an accent.
Do you mind if I look at your mirror?
Oh goodness, no! I can't let people approach it. That it's not safe, you see.
I would come from the side. I'm just curious how you have it mounted on the wall safely.
Well, that's I appreciate your interest, but we do have to be careful around it.
Oh, I totally understand. I'm from the Order of Makers, you see, and I'm always interested in how people handle, more obscure materials.
So there is a challenge involved here.
Okay, that's good. My social is really my strongest suit. Okay.
The challenge is 7.
The challenge is 7?
Yes, getting.
Am I trying to be charming? What am I trying to do?
You're trying to get him to let you look at the mirror.
Oh.
What do you want to do?
Well, I guess I can apply my Order of Makers and my craftspeople so I can use those 2 connections.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're working that out. Sorry.
Can I offer aid?
Yeah.
Said, oh, well, if you're going to do that, maybe you should try on something. And Mac will look quickly around to see what the most expensive shoes are.
There are these glorious boots that look they have this sort of rainbow sheen on them. They look like they're made of some kind of crystal, and they have extraordinarily thickened high heels. Not high heels as in the painful stiletto type deals, but these are more, it's a solid heel, but the back
like
is
platforms.
Yeah.
Mac will hold these up. Like these, for instance.
Oh yeah, those are lovely.
Like he's just gonna say aside. It's like maybe if he thinks we're gonna buy something, he would be more amenable.
So yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would need to approach the mirror to see the shoes. Correct.
So, Mac, what do you want to contribute to the? Do you want to contribute to trick-or-treating or anything on your sheet?
Yeah, I'm going to use one. I'll use one bene for my interaction pool.
Gotcha.
If it's possible, I will also help using my charm skill.
Okay.
I'll like kind of butter him up a little bit, being like, well, it came from the silver. I mean, this mirror must truly be fantastic. I mean, you can hardly blame us for wanting to get a slightly closer look. I mean, it could be the only mirror like this in existence.
So, so you'll be aware, the card that we're currently existing under is the Suspicious Hound, which is kind of appropriate. Indigo is up, gray is down. Its meanings are doubt, suspicion, lack of clarity, judgment, and decisions. I think we've had the Suspicious Hound before, possibly.
Yes.
But it's very suspicious right now. You don't want the Suspicious Hound to be focused on you. Snarling and glaring, the hound isn't certain of its enemies. But once it decides you're a danger, that's almost certainly a bad thing. So, Mac is spending a Benny, so that's going to bring it down 1. And Vor, you're throwing how many levels at this?
I have 1 level in charm.
1 level in charm? Okay, so that's going to bring it down 2, so it's down to a 5. And Shaw, what do you want to use on this?
I can use my craftspeople and my Order of the Makers, and then I'll also add an interaction Bene.
Okay, so that would make it 2 or better.
Seems. Hey, I got a 2.
There you go. You got exactly the number you were looking for. He looks and he's like, yes, well, yes, of course, certainly. He says that, yes, feel free to try them on and take a look. I'll just be on hand here in case you should need to any assistance.
Well, thank you.
He's hovering very closely, but he's going to let you get close to the mirror.
I have a question. While I know he's not letting us get close to the mirror, like, how close are we? Is there any chance that if the mirror was saying anything, I could hear it?
Well, I could take you with me. Like, if I see you looking towards the mirror, I think Shaw's going to sit down and she unbuckles, like, these huge metal cage shoes that she's got on that are just, like, forged, and puts on these sparkly rhinestone shoes and just kind of stands up. And I think she'll sort of mockingly totter, like fake totter a little bit, and be like, would you help me walk to the mirror, Aroshka?
Roshka's like, run over. And I'm like, of course. Those look amazing. You have to see.
So I'll walk up and get as close to the mirror as Alistair will let me get. And then as I'm supposed to be looking at the shoes, really what I'm looking at is like, how is the mirror attached to the wall? What would I notice that's unusual about this mirror? Like that's any different from other mirrors? Pretty much just doing like a craftsperson view of it, and then letting Aroshka say hello.
So the overall impression, just looking at it as a craftsperson, it's very well put together. You don't feel as though it's been imbued with any properties in particular, which is a little weird, in that you were kind of expecting there to be something magical about it. It seems like it is, while it is exquisite, it might be a mundane mirror. Ereshka, how would you like to sound this mirror out?
Well, like, do I have to speak to the mirror first for it to speak back? Is there any chance it's just saying something? I can overhear it?
What, can you remind me what level of your forte you have it is for speaking to objects?
At the moment, because I keep forgetting to talk to you about joy and despair, and there will have no correct spin on it. I have a language of the voiceless. I can speak to an inanimate object. This ability does not grant me any particular influence over objects I speak to, nor does it compel them to speak. So if it happens to be talking, I can hear it, but I can't like make it talk to me.
I understand. Okay, so you go up. It's kind of like, who are these people? Sort of muttering to itself.
I guess trying to hope that I assume the walrus guy's Alistair. Trying to hope that Alistair doesn't hear. I'm gonna like quietly introduce us to the mirror. Maybe it'd also be like, do you like looking at shoes all the time?
Infinity is a very difficult thing to contain, and yet I'm focused daily, day in, day out, simply on feet. I feel as though I need to disgorge something. I'm not sure what it is, but if I could, it's just simply the feet. If I don't know, if the shoes already, the shoes already have things in them, so nothing can come out of that. I don't know. It's very strange.
Is there any way we could help you?
I don't know.
I like also quietly relay the conversation. Like, this is what the bear said.
What do you? Who are you? What do you want?
We're looking for a mirror because I, Arras, am not totally 100% certain why we're looking for the mirror, but Oroshka knows, and we'll say that.
Oh, okay. What was Oroshka's take on this whole thing? You weren't here for the spider's explanation of things, so I don't know if they filled you in on exactly what the process is.
We would have told Oroshka.
Okay. So, but apparently there's a mirror that's supposed to be held up that was set up as some kind of soul conduit that is supposed to be held very close to the Seeker of Souls. How much of that do you want to tell the mirror?
I'll give it sort of the slightly redacted version.
Do you mention the part about the mirror being set up as like a conduit for souls?
Sure, and I'll ask it if maybe it wants to disgorge a soul.
No, I'm not no one's done that to me. That's very... I do remember... Wait a minute. I think someone... It's strange. Because I feel as though someone is using me to keep something. But...
Is it another mirror? We were told the mirror we're looking for was... Oh.
It's not visible right now.
Is that... Do we need to change your view then?
See, it's rather... It's the difficulty is, this is something that I'm... Do you know how when you don't know something, you don't know how much you don't know? This is one of those problems, because I'm not sure in what manner they hid... If something is... I've got something, but I don't know how to get it out, and I can't see it. If I could see it... If I could see a way... I don't know.
I'm also relaying this.
If I could see where this thing is, that would probably help. It's probably around here. No one's moved me. I don't think. No one has. It's got to be right around here.
I think we have to move the mirror.
Have you... There is something. It does feel like it's right around here. There's an item or other. I don't have a fix on it. You see, that's the problem. I can't. Can't see in.
I'll do sort of a slow model walk in the shoes, looking back at the mirror and trying to see what is conspicuously out of the mirror's scope and seeing if I can notice anything. And I'll just kind of do my best to relay to Mac and Vor in sort of hushed tones between talking loudly about the shoes that the mirror says that it might be holding something, but I can't see it.
So I'm not going to set a specific challenge on this, but I kind of need to know what you're noticing, so I would like you to roll a die for me.
Oh, all of us? Or
No, just Shah. Shah's the one who's got the inquiry right now.
I got a 6.
Okay. You got a 6? All right. There's nothing really conspicuously out of the mirror's view, necessarily, except... Well, you do notice... So there are things like... There are boxes and bags and other things on bunches of shelves around here. And bunches of shoes. But none of them are directly in view of the mirror. It seems like... Yeah, no shoes or boxes or bags are here. It's mostly just like... Any of the stuff in the store, you know, movable items, are not there. It's all just looking at fixtures right now.
The mirror did mention that the shoes wouldn't work because they had feet in them. Maybe the mirror needs to see empty shoes.
Mr. Alistair?
Yes?
Yeah, and Mac is going to look at Alistair's shoes. Could you tell me more about that style that you're wearing?
Ah, yes, well, these... he says, sort of lifting up. So these spats I made myself. He begins talking about how he pieced this particular... He cured the leather and put this pair of shoes together himself. There are... it seems like Alistair is a maker. And he's starting to describe in great excruciating detail the process of cobbling.
Mac is just going to look completely and utterly fascinated, but not really. Yeah, I like the style, and I really think they would look great on me. Do you mind if I try them on?
Well, I have a few pairs just like this. What size are you?
Well, I mean, I would like to try those ones because I want to feel how they would if they were broken in. You know, new shoes are always very deceptive to me.
These particular shoes that I am wearing at this moment.
Yes. I know it sounds crazy, but this is how I try on many clothes.
So,
Other people.
this will require a little more convincing. The challenge here would only be 6.
6. All right. Well,
Slightly easier to convince him to take off his shoes and give them to you than it is to get him to let you look at the mirror.
okay. So, at that, I'm going to use my forte skill. Spirit of the Orator.
Ah, there we are.
I'm really glad I picked this up. So that gives me 3 enhancements to my interaction pool. So I currently have 5.
Excellent.
And I am going to use I'm going to use all 5.
Okay, now I need to see what kind of orator you get, since you're grabbing a. So it's basically, as I recall, it was a grab bag situation.
Yes.
And so let me go ahead and flip us back over there. Okay. Whoa, okay. All right. So, I have drawn the revolutionary. The sovereign of the family of secrets, the revolutionary is force for change. Quite possibly the least secret of the family, the revolutionary is brazen and bold. This is changing what needs changing, even if through destruction or violence. The strong sexuality of the revolutionary is obvious, but this aspect is quite separate from the other. There's no suggestion of sexual violence here, but instead sincere passion and mutual attraction. So yeah, this is a
Just some sexy shoes is what I'm hearing.
yeah, basically. The orator that you're getting is very charismatic, and very, very much of a firebrand, and also of the type that apparently is will work in innuendos and things of that nature to kind of attract people. So that's kind of the nature of the of this force that you now have calling up, and so you're going to use all 5 of your.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus anything else?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, so you need a 1 or better. As long as you don't get a 0, you're good. You're also using magic, so you can go ahead and use the second die if you so desire.
Here we go.
Very good. So
as a part of his shtick, or here, you just see that Mac just straightens up and slides his hands into his pockets and just says, I mean, I'm just such an influencer, and I really feel like this is just the way that fashion is only going to move forward, as if we all share our clothes, as if we were one big community.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
It is. I hadn't thought about it that way. But that would be helpful for the community, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well, of course. He reaches down and he sits down and he takes his shoes off.
And so, sorry. So with great reverence, Mac is going to pick up the shoes and casually walk over to the mirror and, just hold it under the gaze there for a moment and see if anything happens.
Shah, just so you're aware, because I realized you asked this earlier and I didn't really specify, it is, the mirror has there's sort of a line a wire that it's used to attach to a hook, and then the hook actually looks like it has been sealed up.
Okay.
So it's like a hook embedded in wall that is completely rounded and doesn't have a slip off necessarily.
Okay.
But Mac is approaching very reverentially with with Alistair's shoes.
I will click my rhinestone shoes on the floor as I tiptoe out of the way.
Okay. Arushka, you hear? Yes, I feel as though something could be in there.
Specifically these ones.
I'm sorry, did you ask something else?
Oh, I whispered at the mirror, specifically these ones?
Well, I mean, it's... I don't know which one,
Oh.
but I feel as though there could be something in one of them.
I like
So-
the motion, like, I don't know, hold them up so we can see inside.
Yeah,
It
so
can
he's just going to
be
start
fine.
angling it. He's just going to start angling the shoes a bit, just to see if anything can be seen in the reflection that shouldn't be there.
You can't see, as you're looking up, you realize you can't see all of the interior of the shoes. Alistair has big feet. I'm just putting that out there. He is a large-footed walrus man. Incidentally, large-footed walrus man will be the title of my next psychedelic cover album. But, yeah, that is the one thing you do notice is that you can't see the entirety of what's in there, so you're not looking. And as he says, right? No, it's I feel as though it could be. Do you not? Do you not have the ability to get anything out of there? The mirror is saying to Aroshka.
Oh, can me?
See if you can. Hang on, Roshka. See if you can slip your hand into the mirror and into the shoes.
I surreptitiously glance back at Alistair to see if he will notice me doing this.
Alistair is currently pondering the infinite.
I see. Well, I will gently reach towards the mirror and see what happens. I'll just, like...
As you're reaching forward, the mirror is like, oh, what are you doing? Well, you're covering everything up. Why are you doing that?
We were just
you
testing
can't pass
something.
through. So she couldn't pass through.
Like
the mirror?
if I touch it, I just touch it.
Yeah, no, it's you touch it, you just touch it, and it.
So Mac is going to probably shake the shoes down a little bit to see if something slips from inside into the heel.
You just stick your whole hand in the shoe.
So
Mac isn't afraid of mirrors, but he is afraid of the inside of shoes.
you're sort of. You don't see anything falling down there. And,
Can I want to look in the mirror as I'm doing it, but reach into the shoe
okay.
and see if I can pull something out.
You do. You look in the mirror, reach forward, you put your hand in the shoe, and your hand closes around a metal handle.
Can I pull it out? Or can it be twisted? Like, what
You turn, there's a couple of points where it's like you feel like you're pulling past the leather. And out comes a mirror.
A teeny mirror.
Pocket it.
Don't look at
It's a
it.
little hand mirror. It's a little bigger than this one.
I will just pocket it, yeah. Just like slip it straight into my pocket.
All right.
Then
And,
Hiroshika's gonna be like, "Whoa, Mac, now you have to try on the shoes."
Yeah, I know. And so Mac is actually going to put his hands in the shoes, and then he's just going to do a handstand and try, maneuvering around this way as if he is some sort of great artist or trendsetter in such a way.
An artiste, as it were.
Yeah, a revolutionary, a free thinker.
So you're... Wait a minute. So you're putting your hands in the shoes kind of like... As though you're
Yeah,
doing-
so he's going to wear the shoes on his hands, and he's going to do a handstand. And he's just going to start modeling the shoes in such a manner in the mirror.
You do this. You do a handstand in the shoes, And as you're doing this, you slowly start to hear. And you see that Alistair has stood up, and he's truly moved by this. And then you also kind of hear the secondary little as and anyone who kind of glances over toward the front of the shop sees that there's this kind of sort of orange cat that's walked in, who's like also clapping and just sort of nodding approvingly at what Mac is doing currently.
Alistair is going to exclusively walk on his hands from now on.
I call this move the Mundarek.
You see the cat sort of raises its paw and cheers just a moment. Yay!
That's a callback for you.
It then turns around and walks on its hands out the door.
Right.
That was Mundarek, everyone. I always wondered what happened to Mundarek. We need to catch up with him sometime. Him and like his 3,000 other cats that are raising this little old lady. Instructing her in how to be a cat lady.
Yeah, raising a future cat lady.
Yeah.
Oh.
Building the cat lady of tomorrow.
Yeah. So, these shoes make quite a bold statement. I shall have to ponder whether or not I should add this to my wardrobe. And he'll casually hop back up onto his feet and pick up the spats reverently and hand them back to Mr. Alistair.
Like,
thank you.
I will
Your
never
contribution
look at
to the
these
art.
shoes. I will never look at these shoes the same way again.
Your contribution to the art of fashion is immeasurable, Alistair.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And secretly, Mac is going to look for like a hand sanitizer or something.
Shaw will sit down and take the shoes off and very carefully put them back on the shelf and say, I don't know. I feel like Mac has really changed the way that I look at fashion, and I really need to take some time to reflect on this before I can decide what my next pair of shoes should be.
That seems very reasonable, Shaw.
Yes. And then she'll very happily buckle the iron shoes back on her feet.
You've given me so much to think about. I need to. I may have to change what I do with this store. I'm not sure.
I think you're on a great path, Alistair. Truly.
I feel it. I feel it.
Shall we go get some tea and reflect on what we've realized here, my friends?
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, Alistair. It has been a pleasure.
Of course, of course.
We hustle out of the store.
Yeah,
trying
seriously.
to chill.
Well,
Mission
would you like to go?
accomplished.
Well, so now we finished that, but now I don't know.
I'll pull out the mirror and just out of my pocket and just sort of show it to everyone else.
I don't know if we should be like looking or examining this out in the open. Maybe we should go someplace private.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Back to Shaw's?
Oh, okay.
I mean, we could go to my place if you don't want us to go back to your place, Shaw.
Oh, I'm happy to take you back to mine. I just realized that we're on the other side of town, and I thought we were closer to your home. But I'm happy to go to mine.
I'm like, wait, I have to look at the map.
You can go to Aroshka's, that's fine.
We've never seen Aroshka's place. We should do
It's
that.
true, you've only been to my neighbor's place, although they're in the same building, which is to say, a theater. I just live in the costume shop.
Ooh. But since we're on a fashion kick today, maybe we should go visit your home.
I don't know if fashion is the word I would use. I don't know if fashion is the word I would use to describe the items in my house, but sure. This isn't the giant book, by the way. That one's on the missing street.
That's
in case
right.
anyone wasn't clear. Go. As we pass through, we can say hi to the mime and his stage.
The mime is, the mime is. So wait, so is it actually like the same building? Is that?
I feel like it's like most theaters. There's like there's like the lobby and then like the theater proper and then like maybe some dressing rooms and stuff. And then usually there's like sometimes it's the same building, sometimes it's like an attached building, sometimes it's maybe a building that's right next to it. There'll be like the prop and costume shops.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe not literally the same building, but it's certainly very close by.
Very close by.
Probably the easiest way to get to it is to go through the theater.
Okay, yeah, same building cluster, and it's just basically within the whole. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So you stop by, and the mime is like, while he seems to be scaling. He's like 10 feet in the air. He seems to be scaling something that.
Can I see what he's scaling?
Yes, he's scaling a trellis right now.
As we walk by, I yell, "Don't fall! Careful!"
He like turns away. Wait! Only Vor hears that, but
yeah, Vor hears him do the Wilhelm scream as he falls.
Vor hears the Wilhelm scream. So he plunges to the stage.
Oh my gosh! I hope. Are you okay?
And he says, and he's like lying down, and you hear him say, I have broken my spirit.
But not your body.
Nope, body's fine.
Okay, well that's good. He's fine.
That is a relief.
Lying there, I shall examine the nature of tragedy from this spot on the floor. For eternity, I say. Oh, is that a moth? I need to clean in here. He slowly is sitting up. And so he's just mostly, as far as anyone else is concerned, he's just like, he's doing all that. And he's very dramatically getting up and preparing to run out and grab a giant can of bug spray, but we won't dwell on that. Instead, you continue on toward the costume shop.
Well, the costume shop is full of musty old costumes and also shelves upon shelves of random junk, because Aroshka will take home any object that tells her it wishes to go with her.
We are all very pleased to be here.
There's lots of random furniture you can sit on.
They all welcome you home.
Maybe like Aroshka's wandering around, like saying hi to like the random shit on the shelves.
It's asking you.
I didn't think she was weird.
Your tea cozy is asking you what you did today.
Aroshka's like, oh gosh, wow, it was very dangerous and involved at least 2 mirrors.
Oh, that is 2? 1 is bad enough.
Well, we separated them, which I think is better than them being in the same room.
Okay. I suppose that's good. You want to be careful, they'll end up all over the place.
True. None of you hear the other half of this conversation. It's just Aroshka speaking to Chiozi.
Mac is just going to start leafing through all of the old costumes And you might try something on if it looks like it fits and it's interesting enough.
We're sort of used to this because Oroshka is her cousin, so just ignores it.
I feel like there's a mix of like there's some really nice stuff in this costume shop, and then there's also some like really hideous stuff. And I'm gonna throw this one out there because this was in the real costume shop I used to work at. Was a hot pink stretchy like suit. It was like a suit, like a buttoned, but it was made out of like a stretchy material, and it was hot pink.
Oh my.
It was amazing. Not sure what you'd use it for, but it was there. It's definitely a thing that's in there, amongst other things of varying quality.
So,
Mac is probably going to look for the biggest hat and a feather boa.
well, I've drawn the mysterious rune. So red is up, blue is down. Magic, mystery, wordless communication. So yes. There is a. Yeah, it's. You do find a very large hat. You find a feather boa. It's very much like. Wait. I have to check to make sure I have the name of this correct. Yeah, it's a deerstalker hat. It's oversized. It's basically the Sherlock Holmes hat.
So this is like a sexy Sherlock Holmes costume now.
Kind of, yeah. There are several hats here.
He'll definitely put that hat on.
So you do that. The hat is very pleased to be worn on someone's head now, and is now very curious about the terrible conspiracies that are happening in the world. As far as this is, it's just what Aroshka hears. I mean, that hat always is curious about conspiracies, but it's even more so now that it's being worn.
I feel like I'm gonna be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't discuss things around that hat.
Oh.
Sorry, it's just overly curious.
I suppose that's fair. And reluctantly, Mac will just pull it off and place it back where he found it.
The hat's like, oh.
I'll like pat it gently and be like, I'll tell you about it when it's all over.
You promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to remind me, but yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll let you know.
Mac will eventually wander over to the couch and take a seat and start flipping through the manual about mirrors again.
Okay. So, what do we do?
I'll get the mirror out and show it to everyone. Mm-hmm. The little hand mirror. Well, as much as one can show a thing without like deliberately
looking
like,
at it.
Hold it this way and rotate it. Can't actually see it.
Yeah. Like I'll keep a hand over the the actual mirror. So is it actually as big as the one you had in your hand, Jim?
It's a little bigger than this. It's a small hand mirror, but it's
okay, but not a whole lot bigger.
Yeah. This is. I presume they didn't want to send an entire hand mirror, so this is This is just the design of the thing.
Okay.
Oh, they send you props?
Yeah.
Monte
That's
Cook Games. Of course they send props.
that's pretty epic. Cool. All
Some
right.
of you might get props if we ever get past chapter 3.
We'll get there. mystery.
Sooner or later. I have faith.
So if we use this mirror to fight the Seeker, next we have to find the Seeker, but that feels like looking for trouble, doesn't it?
Kind of does.
Yeah, but
It's,
Do we just hold on to the mirror in case we run into the Seeker and proceed with...
We saw the Seeker, I think it was on Dullahan Street, in that alley. So I would say we just go back there and see if we can lure it out.
so, do we want to do that first, or do we want to try to unlock Limerence Street first? Maybe if we hold the looking glass up against where it should be, maybe that would reverse that
But
spell.
I thought we had to trap the Seeker first because something about Axon being the street and Axon hiding from the Seeker. I don't know if the street will reappear until we deal with the Seeker.
Well, Mayfer's words were, the street needs to exist, the Seeker needs to not exist. And that the looking glass will reverse it. So the thing is that the Seeker is looking for Axon, right? If we free up Axon first and we still have that looking glass, it would naturally draw the Seeker out and we could capture it then.
That seems like a sound plan. I also would like to try to bring the street back because I'm admittedly a little bit concerned about how long the foreman has been away from the tower. And I mean, I know I very much enjoy hosting you all at my house, but it's going to be much more difficult to do that if that tower falls on top of it.
But do we know that the mirror will even do anything with the street?
Well, if it doesn't work, then we can go on to plan B, which would be to find the Seeker. Personally, I want to avoid having the Seeker come after me again because that hurt really, really bad. And it beat up pretty much the toughest spirit that I can call on as a friend.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of hurt does the Seeker deal? Is it spirit hurt or like body hurt?
It was a very nightmarish hurt.
Okay.
You've had enough of a look at it and interaction with it that you think probably both.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Sir Godfrey is the toughest spirit I've summoned, and well, he kicked that thing kicked Sir Godfrey about 3 or 4 blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can go see if the mirror does anything, but I just don't know that we have any reasonable cause to suspect that it will.
Well, I mean, the nice thing is that if we found Axon first and the Seeker came at us after that, then we would have Axon fighting the Seeker as well as our fighting the Seeker, correct?
Yeah, because it's going to take about 20 seconds to capture that Seeker in
That's
this
so
mirror.
long. Vor, how
Oh.
can you be how long can you be charming at a monster?
How long can I what?
Be charming at a monster.
Ugh, I mean, I can be charming at a person for, days, but I don't know that that's going to work in this circumstance. Now, the last time we saw it, I was able to touch its mind. So perhaps I could do something in that fashion, but I don't know if I'd be able to hold it for very long.
Well, I'm happy to do either thing first, but it does seem to me that if we used Axon to draw the Seeker out, that we might be better off.
I mean,
Hey, Roshka, could
You
you
least attempt
talk
it.
to this mirror?
I could try. Hiroshka looks like she was thinking really hard about something that's like,
I'll give Oroshka the mirror so she can try to talk to it.
Roshka. And you hold the mirror, and you kind of feel it say, "Oh, hello again, Aroshka."
Again?
Nice.
And then after that, I'm like, I seem to have forgotten some things, apparently, including you.
You're having kind of a thing. You think you might have actually. The feel of it actually is familiar a little bit. You feel like you might have held this mirror before.
I'm trying to use two things at once. It's really hard.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My apologies to everyone who's wondering. I've been secretly messaging her for the last couple minutes, and so to pull back the curtain a little bit, just to make it easier on our brains,
Like,
you can kind of. Yes, magic can come into play here. Also, actually having the mirror itself is going to be an asset.
okay.
I realize assets aren't an invisible sun. I call them assets, but they call it something else. Yeah, the
Useful.
situational thing. You can knock it down a level for having the mirror, so it's only going to be like 5 natively. But yes, you could also knock it down 1 more using magical lore. And if you don't have a specific spell or incantation or item or anything you want to use on you, you can. There are a few different things you can do. I mean, you can just use like sortilege to generate a magical effect and work with the raw stuff of it, if you so desire, to bring about an effect.
Yeah, maybe just 1. Bring it down to 3. 3 seems reasonable.
3's good. I enjoy 3. That would give you a second die. If you want to do that.
Okay. Let's see. So I need 2d10?
Yeah. Okay, both of them had at least a 3. The first one had a 9. And no flux, so we're good there. Sitting there waiting for flux, we didn't get any. Okay. So something for a moment, you kind of adjust how you're holding it in your hand, and this is going to look a little ridiculous in my hand, but makes you think, no, it's like this. As you kind of look, and you're looking at for a moment, you see yourself, but you're kind of holding it in a way where it's just at a distance from you, and close enough that kind of where you're getting a little bit double vision on something if you hold an object at a particular distance, like too close. And so you have that going on, and it's like for a moment there are 2 of you. And the one on the right is much as you are now. The one on the left seems to be wearing a power suit.
Oh.
And it's a memory. This is kind of like the memory that you had before when you were in your house, your previous house. And so You realize you're holding the mirror in the observatory.
That's the one where the telescope told me to run away, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
And you're remembering leaning over and writing notes as you're looking out across Silver Hill through this telescope, and you're looking at this mirror. And you can sort of see that you remember that you were writing something about the movement of the souls. You're actually, yes, you were writing it as part of your thesis. This was something you were going to be putting in your publication that you were going to publish. And an exchange that takes place. You remember that the exchange is important. And oh dear. Okay. Asking this carefully as I can. It seems as though a part of you in this memory is looking kind of over at you now. And is kind of like giving you an impression. This isn't exactly what she's saying. But it's kind of like this previous part of you is looking you up and down and saying, you know, if you let me drive, I could solve this in seconds.
I just start like slowly shaking my head. I assume nobody else can see this. This is just me staring into the mirror now.
Well, I think they see you shaking your head a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And this impression of you is very well, how much information do you want? Because no information comes by itself.
Oh, shit.
You want the knowledge, it's here, you can take it, but just know what you're taking pieces of when you do that.
Oh, shit. You just hear Aroshka like quietly whisper, but I don't like you.
Newsflash, who does like themselves completely? Fools are arrogant fools. You're not one of those, are you? I know you're not.
You would. Well, how about just one thing?
All right. What would you like to know?
Oh, shit. Whatever will change me the least.
Was I ever this risk averse? Maybe. No, I was always careful. Okay. Something small then. You want something small? And it's kind of as though, it's sort of weird again in this perspective, this dual you perspective. It's like the one of you reaches forward and leans forward to whisper in the other one's ear. Axon made a swap that made this beast. Now, the two can't exist at the same time. But with this, you can flip it. You can exchange the Seeker for Axon.
But only if we know how.
You know how. None of you is... You're just all too scared to do it.
I see.
And again, this isn't exactly dialogue per se, but it's because mental communication happens a lot faster than that. Sort of pictures, things, images come across. But it's kind of like the more you talk to her, the more she seems real. If that makes sense? I mean, you know she's real, she was real, but it's...
Yeah.
Just hold the thing near it. Simple as that.
That's what I thought. And then, because I'm really scared / nervous about the fact that the maybe very not nice version of me that doesn't exist anymore is getting more real, I'm going to be like, and done.
So, one thing that I'm going to ask you to let me know, and you don't have to do this now, but sometime soon, probably in the next week or so, let me know. You can, since this is, again, this is your character's history, come up with a thing, a piece of her, that you think you have recovered, that is transferred over as a result of this contact.
I will get back to you on that one.
Again, not going to make you change anything you're not comfortable with changing or anything like that. It's just, could just be an addition. But just think on that and let me know. So, I think what everyone sees is that they see this brief thing where you're shaking your head, and then everyone sees Arushka pull the mirror away. What do you look like when you pull the mirror away?
Probably a little bit scared and like disappointed. Like, I knew that was the answer, that we were in fact gonna have to go find the Seeker, but I still was hoping it was something different.
I mean, I mean, she offered an alternative, but a more direct, big weapon alternative. But you didn't want to take that, so.
Yup. I'm not going to share with everyone the fact that I could have done that.
I think that when you pull the mirror back, that Shaw will immediately like whip out her battle fan and like put it between you and the mirror, like fling it out between you two and look at you and say, "Are you okay?
Oh, yes.
Did you see something?"
I did. I saw me. But the me that remembers things.
She'll put the fan back down.
And
Well,
did you tell yourself anything important?
kind of what we already knew. We just have to go to the Seeker and show the Seeker the mirror, and then because the Seeker and Axon can't exist at the same time, they'll trade places.
Oh.
Vor looks at the other two, not quite triumphantly, but with a little bit of "I told you so."
All right, fine.
All right.
But
Well,
I think I'm going to need to rest first because I used up a lot of magic today.
Well, we don't. We can get a good night's sleep before we do it.
yes.
Mac is going to hang on for a moment, and then he's going to pull out his other book that he received during that study session, the Silver Hill Planning book.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to sort of leaf through it to see if there's any information on particular points of interest that might help him or help them confront the Seeker in a relatively safer environment.
I'm remembering there were like 3 books.
Yeah, so it was the House of the Forgotten Registry.
Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, yeah.
Safe Handling of Mirrors, and then Silver Hill Planning.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're leafing through the planning, Silver Hill Planning. Oh man, I was supposed to get back to you about a thing. That's okay. I remember what the thing is now. Has nothing to do with this immediately right now exactly, but we'll come back to that. I have to go back and review footage. Yeah, it's you can see that you're trying to look to see. You sort of look at areas where it talks about the building of the alleys, there are. Well, let me see. Actually, oh man. Let me see if this is in here and I can pull this real quick. Just see what this is real quick. I just want to make sure that I can. Huh. Okay. All right. It's an interesting thing. As you're looking at this, it talks about when you're looking at specifically when it talks about the alleys, you realize the alley that it's talking about is the one that the Seeker came out of. Apparently, there's a resonance that they were trying to build around when they were rebuilding that alley after the war. There was like a piece, something that felt like a resonance from a hate cyst. That he couldn't quite pinpoint the origin. I will say, Vizsla, for the most part, have heard of hate cysts. They, just to give a little bit of information, they're remnants of the terrible weapons unleashed in the war. And they kind of spread like tumors if left unchecked. They're all different. They're all different kinds of things. They're not always necessarily a physical thing. There's sometimes, a lot of different sort of magical things that occur around them. This in and of itself is not a hate cyst, but like I said, sort of a resonance of, possible resonance of one, possibly something that has the same kind of energy as a hate cyst. And they weren't able to trace the origin. They thought, okay, there's a hate cyst around here somewhere. But there's no information in the city planning book about where the hate cyst would have been located.
Huh. He'll relay he'll relay that information that he's reading to everyone else.
Yeah, it's like there's a spot where they'd put it, but that area is just blank. They don't. There are no paragraphs or anything there.
Huh. I wonder if this seeker is like a hate cyst?
Are you saying that the seeker is left over from the war?
That's kind of how it sounds like, in which, if I wasn't already terrified, I would be even more so right now. Yeah, I think we're going to have to bring pretty much everything we have to bear against this thing if we need to, if we're going to get this done correctly.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Do you think you can trap it in some way?
It sounds like it might be a little bit beyond my skills of trapping. Also, that will create more problems, because if we were to try to trap that one, then that will immediately release the clock monster on us instead.
You still have that?
Well, of course. It's very useful. I mean, it'll go its way eventually, but the best thing to do with it for now is keep it there. She unwraps the cage, and it's just like in the cage, like
It's looking
silently running in little circles.
You keep that thing with you all the time?
Of course. If it were to get away from me, if the cage were to get away from me, it would get out.
Huh.
And, it's useful. I mean, it's uncomfortable for some people, but I mean, if per se I needed a little bit of extra oomph while we're going up against the Seeker, I can just take it from the clock monster.
Wow.
It's just kind of dangerous. Not for me, but for the clock monsters. So, sparingly, I suppose. Understanding what's worth taking the risk of another creature's life and what's not.
Well, we only have to stall this thing for like 15, 20 seconds at most. I mean,
Right.
Well, that's an
surely.
eternity.
I think we can do it. I mean, who's going to hold the mirror? Who's the sneakiest?
Well, I think I'm going to be the one who has to do it.
Okay.
Well, then that means I can contribute by trying to reach into its mind. And, maybe we'll get a little bit lucky there.
I can, I don't know, be the person it kicks down the alleyway and hope that is
We may need someone to do that.
something that I can withstand.
I can maybe put lots of things in its way or fling small objects at it. Or try to anyways.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we have a plan. Shall we
All right.
take a nap and have breakfast and have a go?
I guess
If
so.
worst comes to worst, we'll just run away, right?
Right. I'm gonna go meditate and get ready.
So we'll meet at our favorite breakfast spot in the morning.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Excellent. All right. So, yeah, I'm thinking that. Okay. Let me see here. So, we can try to. Yeah, if you folks want to take a stab at it, we can take a stab at it this evening, or we can wait till next week. I'm good either way.
No, let's do it. I want to take it out.
I won't be here next week, so let's go for it.
Yes.
All right. So, you all get some rest. You wake up the next morning, and you go forth. You do your. Is there anything anyone wants to do before they tackle this thing?
Vor's like a nervous ball of jitteriness in the morning and is like more talkative than usual. But no, I don't have anything in particular I want to do. Just
before I go meet everybody, I'd like to get up a little bit early and use my feed upon strength forte so that I can use my hour rest to refresh afterwards, which would let me pull it up so that I have it. Feed upon strength. I absorb points into my physicality pool equal to the level of this effect or the level of the imprisoned being, whichever is greater. Each time I use this ability, I roll a die. If I roll a 0, the prisoner dies.
Wow, okay.
So it's a level 3 spell. It's gonna take 3 of my sorcery. I don't know what the target would be at that point.
So
I'm guessing it just remains as a target of 3. Because it doesn't say what the target is. It just says it's a +1, so I know that I have to roll something.
The rule of thumb here is you're doing it to the Unforgiving Clock. So the Unforgiving Clock is a level 5 creature.
Okay.
It has magic, it has +2 resist, which is probably why
Okay.
I've been having you roll trying to roll 7s when trying to affect it with a thing. So it's still gonna. You've got it captured, but it's still gonna have its resistance available.
Right.
So it's gonna be. You're gonna be looking at probably a target number of 7 to do that to this.
Okay. So, and it's a level 3. So when I spend those 3 points in sorcery, does that bring it down to 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Can it's a little bit of a stretch, but can I use my point in mining to say that I understand how to pull things out of other things?
I mean, I guess there'd be an analogy here. It might be possible. You're trying to draw on its strengths specifically, right?
Right.
There are things it can do. You've had time to study this thing. It has the ability to create an aura of terror. It has the ability to steal time. It has the ability to freeze time for an individual. You can steal time from an individual. How does one mine time?
By folding it, obviously, and pulling out the pieces that were left in between.
Okay, I'll take it. You can use it.
Okay. Cool. So that brings it down to 3.
Yep.
And then can I just throw in a point of sortilege?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Okay, so that brings it down to 2, and I have to roll 2 dice.
That's right.
2d10. And I got a 3 and a 5.
Okay, no flux.
No flux. And a success. So that means that my physicality pool goes up by 3.
Does its go down as a result?
Oh, and I have to roll a die and see if I killed it in the process.
Oh, yeah, it might be a good idea. You need a not 0, right?
Ha!
Okay.
And it survives.
All right.
I think you see Shaw sitting with it as she pulls the thing back over and says, "Well, I guess we were both lucky this time," and pulls the curtain down over the cage and meditates for an hour to refresh her sorcery pool.
Are you drawing into yourself just out of curiosity? Yeah, I feel as though this is it. You kind of feel you get that feeling for a moment as though you know for a moment what it's like to steal time from someone else. It's not a new ability that you get per se. It's just something where it's like you're kind of it's like feeding on these poor louts who are not on time. Taking that time from them because they have taken it from you. It feels good.
Cool. So I think that by the time she meets everyone for breakfast, that she's rather rosy and she's got her collar mask buckled over her face and she's like, "Snip, snip, let's go. Places to go, things to do."
You're cheery this morning, Shaw.
I'm very excited.
So Mac would have summoned his familiar.
Okay, yes.
And so his raven familiar, Sagan, is sitting on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't think they can see him though.
Yeah, I think this would be something where it's like unless you want them to see it, then probably. I mean, maybe, but yeah, he doesn't have a physical presence.
Yeah.
You feel as
Anyway,
though there's something on Mac's shoulder.
I'm like, well, seems like everybody here has a little buddy to call on. Figured it's I should have one too, being the goetic here. I mean, Aroshka is like everything's friend, and you have that really funky necklace there, and Well, you just cage whatever you want, so. And,
Well, not whatever. Don't be, rude.
anyway. And Shantano, well, his best friend is murder right now, so. I was feeling a little left out.
Well, if we're all assembled, shall we go see what we can find on this alley?
Do this. No time like the present.
So Mac will sling a short sword over his shoulder and head on over.
All right. 4 of you head up Delahan Street. Soon you come into that area, which I shall once again see if I can put on display here. So I'm looking at the non-limerence map. Yeah. You see here, limerence list. That's it. Yeah. So for folks, whoa, there are 2 things on that. Let me fix that. Haha. I didn't. What's he doing there? Get off of there, Marcus. Okay. There you go. The limerence-less map. Head up to that upper corner. Past the tower until you can see into that alley. That's up on the north end of that part of Silver Hill. I think there was some sort of grocer nearby, if I remember correctly. Not entirely sure. Somewhere
Yes.
selling fish. What would you like to do?
So Mac is going to locate the alley and make sure it's clear, and then he's going to start drawing a protective circle on the ground.
Okay. Drawing your protective circle in the alley?
Yes.
Okay. So, is there a particular thing you're wanting to cast, or is this?
No, it's just a protective circle that will give him +2 defense against
Okay, gotcha.
the Seeker.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
I
Alright.
will draw my sword cane and light it on fire. As I do.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Is the mirror technically a magical object?
Yes.
I would like to use my incantation, A Glimmer Hides in the Shadows, on the mirror, which takes 1 magical object manifestation spell and makes it register as non-magical to those who have the ability to sense, see, or otherwise detect such things,
Ah. Okay. I gotcha.
so that it's not perceived as a threat when it's held up to the seeker.
That's good. That's good. The mirror is not resisting, so you don't have to roll.
Okay.
Very cool. So you've got that done.
And I guess, yeah, Roshka, do you have the mirror with you? You're muted.
Yes, I will pull it back out.
Okay. May I? And he'll just hold his hand out for it.
Sure. Hand it
Okay.
over.
I'll give that, and he'll give it a little bit of a twirl as he draws his short sword. And seems like he's using or wielding both items with a little bit more practice ease than he's done before. And then, all right, well, I think I'm ready. I just, I don't really remember how we called them out, though.
I imagine we just walk in.
That.
Okay. Well, maybe I should have drawn the circle a little deeper into the alley, but
Do you want me to try and pull it over your way?
that would be helpful, yes.
So Shaw will walk into the alley, and I presume there's like brick on the side, and she'll just like drag the closed battle fan down it, and like, I swear there were things here before that are not now.
Okay. So in terms of bringing this thing here, one thing I will mention is that it is a thing that feeds on soul energy. So, in theory, and you folks, man, you probably talked about this a little bit. There's an idea that it would need to have soul energy dangled in front of it in the right place. So wherever in here the hate cyst resonance is. How do you want to get this thing's attention?
I have an idea. Probably not a good one. Is there a way I can use meme to help me amplify a memory?
Maybe.
Okay. Let me look at my aggregates and see. Hang on, I gotta wait for the thing to open.
I'll open the other thing while you're opening that thing because I need to see the levels of effects. I'm sort of going to have hundreds of tabs open now, so we're like, wait, we have to use the rules here. Hang on a second.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use, because it feeds on soul energy. I am gonna use, what we're trying to attract it. Okay. I'm gonna use fire and diamond together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use illumination I'm gonna use passion from fire. That feels more soul like. And then gravity from diamond to try to create, like, take one of my own personal memories and amplify it so that it is like a beacon.
All right. So you're using meme.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can treat meme as like an asset of some kind in this circumstance to help me really bring the memory to life.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure. That's a good. That's good. Level 3 is wake a sleeping creature. Let's go with level 3.
Okay.
So this will be difficulty 3.
So does meme? I don't know what level meme is.
That's an excellent question. Someone thoughtful would have. Someone who thinks ahead of about these things would have had that written down somewhere.
I don't recall what you made me roll to catch him.
Me neither. I think meme is like level 4.
Okay, so if I use meme, then I should just automatically succeed.
Probably, yeah. It's if you're using meme, so yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you should be able to do it.
Cool. Then I will do the thing.
I'll go back and look eventually. We'll figure it out. One day, we'll figure it out. All right. What memory are you amplifying?
I'm gonna pick something. I'm trying to decide if this thing is more attracted to suffering or happy memories. I'm guessing probably not happy memories. So I will use my memory of finding Very again, actually, and recognize, tinged with everything I've learned since then that makes me feel kind of like I am to blame for what happened.
So because you're using Very again, this is going to work incredibly well.
Uh-oh.
This is one of the souls that escaped it. You are there in the alley. I'm going to draw a card real quick before I describe the next thing. Okay. This is a thing I must do round by round as we go into this. This card is the Angel. Defender of Notions. This would be a great time for me to have the thing in front of me that tells me what each one does in rounds of combat. But anyway. It doesn't affect the magic one way or the other, as far as I'm recalling. But there is a thing. You know what? I'm going to stand up and grab a thing. Hang on just a second. I'm grabbing a physical object, which I believe has this information in it.
For what it's worth,
object.
Notions is my family.
I have the physical Sooth deck here, for anyone who might be wondering. There are these instructions in here. Defender. +2 to all actions if heart is linked to family.
Mine is.
Good. Well, guess what? Guess what? Probably gonna need it.
I'm gonna super succeed, which in this circumstance is scary.
Well, this coming round. So here's the deal. Here's what you're gonna see. I think I'm gonna let's see, what view shall I keep this on? Yeah, for me to see the card, I have to be able to do this. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Okay. So, you hear a mournful cry. This wind seems to be whipping through the alley, coming from an unknown source. And you hear this two-throated sound. I have now pressed show to players. The Seeker of Souls, so hopefully it will be popping up in front of you. Those of you, 3 of you perhaps have seen this before.
That thing, it's the thing I was told to run away from.
Yep.
Shit.
Well, there's a reason. Let's see. And just so folks will know what I'm talking about, warning,
We'll all get to enjoy this too.
this terrifying two-headed thing
Nice.
that is coming, claws outstretched out of the corner of the alley, leaping forward.
Vor just goes, it worked!
It did indeed. So, let's see. How does this work again? Let me get the reference in front of me. So, I believe we have everyone rolling to see how they actually anything a character doesn't. Where's the thing? This is the wrong document, isn't it?
Oh no.
Tell you what. Let me know what you folks want to do, and then we'll say you go, and then it goes, because I don't have the I don't have this in front of me right now. For action mode. What would you like?
Where is Vor at this point? Like when she's doing this, is she back by Mac or is she further into the alleyway?
I'm probably like a few steps into the alley. Like not deep in, but enough that it seems reasonable.
So that's like back where Mac's circle is, right? Mac, is that where your circle is? Okay. Then the first thing that Shaw will do is go step between Vor and the Seeker and sort of plant herself.
Okay. Action mode. Why is it not giving me the information on action mode? Curses. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna just... Okay. Here we go. No, it just tells me what it is. That's wonderful. Alright. So first we're going to say, I'm just going to let you go in whatever order you desire, because I'm not going to sit here flipping through the key, figuring this out. The key and the gate and the other books. So yes. So Vor, you're going to interpose yourself as this thing is racing forward. As this ring is racing forward, you each have this round to do something. What would you like to do?
I am gonna shout mirror, and then and hope that whoever has the mirror, I can't think of Mac, will lift it. Then I would like to so I have an ability that lets me disrupt the mental patterns of a being within short range. I would like to do that, please, if I can. It does require a roll. It is a level 3 ability.
Okay. Let me, sorry, I'm pulling up a thing real quick. very good. Okay. Oh, it's in here. There it is. All right. So, sorry. I was in two places at once there. What are you using against it again?
This is one of my Shepherd's Minds abilities. I disrupt the mental patterns of a being within short range. They suffer mental damage equivalent to the level of this ability.
Okay.
And it is a level 3 ability.
Here's the deal. Just so you're aware of what it is that we're dealing with here. The Seeker of Souls is a level 8 being.
Okay.
It has +4 to resist. So
Woof.
we're working from 12.
Okay. Yikes. So, okay.
Remember,
but
you have +2 this round.
I do. So 10. Do I get to count the level of the ability against the check or no?
What's the ability?
It's a level 3 ability.
Yes.
Okay, so that gets me to a 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now in the realm of possibility. I have my skill about understanding magic that lies outside codified practices. Can I use that here?
I think this is well beyond codified, sure.
Cool. Okay, that gets me to a 6.
Can I add a physicality bene for having slid in front of her so I'm disguising her movements?
If you want this to be your action this round, to basically helping, then yes.
Yeah, because my action this round is to defend and attract.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
So yes, that'll bring it down one more.
So that gets me to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I spend a sortilege point, that'll take it down one more, right?
Yep. And you'll have 2 dice to work with.
Okay, I think I'll go with that. Rolling for 4 with 2 dice.
All right.
Let's see. Ooh.
Excellent. What's this effect?
So the effect is, it says it takes damage equivalent to the level of the ability, which is level 3. So the Seeker takes 3 damage.
All right. So that's taking wounds or anguish?
It's mental damage, so I would say anguish.
Okay. Nice. All right.
And yeah, I just want to kind of piss it off and try to distract it while we attempt to track this thing.
It is leaping forward on both of its faces. You see you're having an effect on it.
Well, that's good.
What does this look like when you're doing this?
Vor probably just like reaches a hand toward it. And you see her, I would say you probably see her eyes flash or something like that as the magic leaves her. It's the first time I've used this ability.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Who hasn't done anything yet? Wants to do something? It's a Roshka or a Mac.
Well, Mac is going to break out the mirror and or hold up the mirror and assume a defensive posture within the circle, and angle the mirror so that it catches or reflects the image of the Seeker.
Okay. Well, it'll be at the end of this round. It'll be where you want it to be for that. And Arushka, what are you doing?
Can I try? I don't know if this will work. I have a spell called Barrage, which is literally just random things from the ground fly at a target.
Sure.
So it's a level 2, +1 die. It literally just says a variety of loose, hand-sized or smaller objects around me fly at a nearby target. The target and anyone close suffer damage equal to the level of the spell. I was hoping maybe I could arrange it such that it's not going towards any of my friends.
Well, you have you during this. This is the time to do it because it before it reaches
hasn't
you.
reached us yet.
Yeah.
It says the target and anyone close suffer damage equal to the level of the spell. The objects may or may not be damaged as appropriate. Color red, facet air. So let me see.
So again, you're trying to attack this thing.
Yeah,
physically.
but like physically.
So that it has a +2 withstand, so you're only starting from 10.
Okay. I don't know that I have any skills that are useful. But so the spell's a level 2, so
Okay, so that's 8.
it would be 8.
Mhm.
Can she use it as a non-defended action? So, like, rather than hitting it, if she was just trying to sort of, like, distract it or give it sort of, I don't know, whatever would be like
flying,
basically giving it disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do damage with it, but you want to make it so that it's harder for it, then that's also a possibility.
That's true. I'm not necessarily trying to damage it. I'm just trying to slow it down, distract it. I'm going to send a bunch of... Hand size is pretty big, honestly.
So that would be an uncontested... She wouldn't have to roll for that, right? Because that's on the environment, not on a creature.
She's still trying to affect the creature, so it's still there's still going to be a roll to affect the creature, but
Never mind.
If it's successful, then it'll be easier to... The creature's challenge rating will go down as a result. I'm thinking it's a level 2 spell, so I'll drop it by 2 if this works.
Okay, so... I don't know that I don't think I particularly have anything... Shotgun's not here, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to it. 8 is a big number, but I guess we'll see.
You want to throw sortilege at it? Or,
sure, I could do that.
You can throw a point of sortilege and that'll make it 7.
Yeah.
You'll get 2 dice.
Let's do that. And then this is 2. Okay. 2d10.
Unfortunately, that's a 5 and a 4.
Yep.
So, what is this? Things from the alley are going to start pelting it, but it doesn't seem to. It seems to just sort of bob and weave as the things are coming at it, and as it is coming closer, one of its heads locks eyes with you.
Nah.
And you're briefly reminded of a moment yesterday when you were looking at 2 heads in a mirror. Okay, here it comes. It's aiming at Shah. It's going to do a soul attack on you.
Okay.
So...
Is that
withstanding a
nice?
Let's see. Well, 3 points.
That's
of
my
physical,
favorite.
3 points of mental, plus the victim's soul is frozen to the point where they can't use it. So yeah, I'm gonna say we'll call this withstand.
Okay.
And this is level 8.
Okay. I have an automatic 2 withstand from my signature object, which is my mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, what else do I use? Can I use like Bene for that? How do I?
If you have,
I'm rolling a defense, right?
Yeah, this is a defense roll. Defense action.
Defense action.
I believe they call it.
Okay.
And let's see.
Well, what is it doing at me? Like, what does it look like narratively?
So narratively, it is reaching forward with its claws, and tearing at you.
Okay. So I would like to... Can I add Bene for more than one pool or just one?
My memory of this tells me. I was thinking probably. I'm thinking probably it's. Let me actually look this up. Let me look here.
Because I know that, like, rolling that Bene is supposed to just add an extra onto
Yeah,
what I
I
do, but I
think
don't
it's-
know how that works in a defense roll.
I think it's one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will use my physicality
Mhm.
to sort of increase my ability to withstand.
Okay.
And I can only use 1 point from that pool. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So I will use that 1 point. And then I have my 2 withstand. And then. And my resist is not helpful.
It's attacking both at the same time, but it's only
Okay.
going to. It has to hit you before it can hit you that way. So.
Okay. So I guess if I can only use 1 Bene and I can't use my resist, that gives me 3.
All right, so that will knock it down to 5 that you're trying to handle here.
And I got a 2, so that does not succeed. So it hits me.
I mean, unless you were using magic or something to try to do something else, but yeah, actually you did, didn't you? You were using. What were you using? Oh no, you were just using Bene. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm using my magic. I'm a maker, so I'm using my mask,
Well,
which
yeah,
allows
yeah,
me to. So I don't remember how it works.
Well, no,
I thought that it worked that
a,
I absorb
yeah.
like 2 of the things that would be against the withstand I don't take, and 1 of the things that would be against the resist I don't take.
Okay.
But
so this inflicts 3 points of physical damage and 3 points of metal damage.
Okay.
Plus, the victim's soul is frozen to the point where they cannot use magic of any kind on their
Okay.
next action.
All right.
So
my withstand doesn't absorb those.
well, that was that was the withstand action basically you just took. So that was to.
Okay.
Was to try to.
Okay.
Try to withstand what was going on there.
I'll take 2 injuries and a wound and 3 anguish.
There we go. This thing hurts. Also, every time it inflicts damage, the seeker heals 1 wound, 1 anguish, or all its injuries. It will heal 1 anguish. And that was its turn. And we come back around to your turn. What would you folks like to do? Oh yes, let me actually, it's a new round, so I'm going to draw a new card. Okay. This round's card is the driver. Defender of mysteries. So it's a defender, +2 to all actions if heart is linked to family. So if anyone has mysteries, you get +2 to everything this round.
Well, having seen it just hurt Shah, I will take a swing at it with my sword, which is on fire.
Sword is on fire. That does that does do that. Okay. So again, so if you're trying to attack it physically, so you're starting from 10.
Okay. Well. Can I? Okay, well, my weapon is level 2. Does that help?
Your weapon is level 2. That does help. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Well,
brings right
my base weapon is level 2. With my weapon on fire, does it help anymore?
Oh, being yeah, I'll give you a leg up for that. So that'll I'll bring it down one more.
Okay, so now it's 7. And can I use my game theory here to try to like predict its movements?
I'm not. The only thing is I don't know if this is really. I don't know if there's something to game here per se.
That's fair enough.
This is more like a beast is attacking you, so it's.
That's fair. What about my skill with balance? Would that be helpful since I'm using my sword?
Yes, that will help.
Okay, so that takes me down to 6 because I have 1 level of that. And then we established we can spend a bene from a pool, right?
Yes.
Can I spend would a movement bene be appropriate here, or an accuracy bene? Accuracy bene, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Okay, so I will spend an accuracy bene to get it down to a 5.
Yeah, okay.
And give myself a 50-50 chance of
hitting. Do
hitting.
anything additionally magical on this, or no?
Yeah, if I drop a sortilege point in it, I can roll 2 die, right?
Yes, and I'll bring it down another. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll drop a sortilege point. Takes me to 4, and I can roll 2 dice for this. So. There we go.
Okay, that helped. All right, how much does what?
Well, so the weapon itself is level 2, and then I don't know how you want to adjudicate it being on fire.
I will give it another. So I'm going to call that. I think it's wounds into injuries. I think that's how that works.
I believe so.
Is that right?
3 wounds to 1 injury, I think.
I think that's right, yeah. Okay.
Or maybe it's 3 injuries to 1 wound. I don't recall, but I think
I'm trying to remember.
3 injuries to 1 wound.
It is 3 injuries to 1 wound? Okay. Okay. Cool. What else do we have happening this round?
So I've suffered 3 anguish, which apparently results in long-term catatonia, madness, or death. So I don't.
Let me look at a thing here.
Know where I am at this point.
That's an excellent question.
But if I'm still if I've just lost my mind,
it's extreme for 1 turn.
I know.
Let me just look at something real quick, because I was thinking about what you were saying again. I'm just trying to figure out with damage. I mean, this thing is horrifying, but as far as it goes, but I just want to figure out if you were saying that you were talking about the idea that your defenses that
they don't help in the. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm not sure. It's fine. I'm happy to play it out this way. I'm not I'm good. But I just need to know if I can take an action this turn.
Character can use Benny from their intellect pool to negate 1 anguish, just like they can use Benny from physicality to negate 1 wound. Character cannot use intellect Benny to negate wounds. So you actually could. You used a Benny there previously.
To negate 1 of my anguish and bring it down to 2?
Yeah, you can do that.
Would that be my move this round?
I wouldn't call it even your move. I'd just say you can spend it.
Okay, well, is it which bene do I need to use? Is it qualia?
Let me see here.
Or certus?
The character can use bene from their intellect pool to negate one anguish. So
Okay.
From your intellect.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I have 2 anguish and a wound.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, because I have no sense of self-preservation, I'm going to go ahead and attack this thing.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, I mean, we have to
No, you're
keep
good.
it distracted
Sure. No,
until, I mean, the
absolutely.
other thing, I guess I can just stomp at it, but we have to keep it distracted long enough for Mac to hold the mirror near it. And this
absolutely.
is like 1 of 3 rounds. So, could I just, rather than attacking it, could I confuse it somehow? Like,
Sure, what would you like to do?
that's a good question. Okay, somebody else go. Let me see if I come up with a good idea.
So Mac is going to hold up the mirror, but he's also going to cast a spell, Flesh Mail,
Okay.
to give himself 1 armor.
Okay. I think I'm just going to say you do that. There's no problem there.
Okay.
All right. So you're doing that, and you're sort of armoring up. Does this look like anything, or is this?
Yeah. So his skin will just flash a bit, as if it'll turn metallic for a moment and then go back to normal.
Cool. All right. Arushka, would you like to do something?
If I did impedimenta, which isn't like actually again an attack on somebody, it's just putting a bunch of shit in the way. Am I rolling against the seeker, or am I just rolling so you know how in the way the shit is?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you're trying to affect the seeker ultimately, so that's that's what you would roll against.
I don't have a whole lot useful to do. I kind of want to do this one, although if I do this, I will have no sorcery left, because I have a spell called Peering into Hearts. I'm not sure if I really want to peer into the heart of the seeker. It's a level 4 spell. It says I look at a close being and know what their immediate thought is, what their current desire or intentions are, or why they are carrying out their current action. I can look at another close being each round as an action, but I can't look at anyone more than once. So I can only use it once.
Quick question: did anyone fill Arushka in on what Igthamad told you about the Seeker's pain, what the Seeker was doing, why they were doing it?
I feel like we would have shared everything we'd learned with the Rockstar.
Yeah.
Okay. So something you'll know going into this is there is this strange sort of, it's hard to know if it sounds mystical or literal, but it is bound forever to its love and thus cannot interact with them. So that is something you know going into this.
Well, I'm going to give it a try anyways, because I don't really have anything else useful to do.
You also kind of remember, yeah, you can totally do that, but as you're doing this, I'm going to give you, there are a couple of things that give you insight here, in particular. One of them is that you kind of helped define the process that made this creature possible. And you've remembered a little bit of that now. So I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a 1 point bonus on it.
Yay.
On what you're doing here. So we're starting again. This is if it's resisting magic that you're doing on it, we're starting from 12.
Well, it's a level 4 spell, so that's already down to 8. If you
So
gave
8
me one
and
extra,
7 for the
that's 7.
for the thing.
I do have one more point of sorta which I could use.
You can, if you so desire. And you can also, doing that, you can bend this spell in unusual ways if you want.
I'm not sure I have a good idea for an unusual way I could bend it. Well, let's start with a roll.
Okay, so you get 2 dice if you do that. But that's up to you.
Hey.
Okay. A success. Looking into this thing's mind, are we?
Making a lot of bad decisions today.
Yay, bad decisions.
This was once 2 people.
Oh.
It is 1 person now. And it lost the other person. This was kind of a shade of that which came before, in many ways. A shade of the beings that were here before humans came. Whose names I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it begins with an A. But those who occupied this place, the actuality, and it's trying anytime that it feeds on soul energy. It can help abate the pain for just a little while. Doesn't ever make it fully go away. It misses itself very badly. It is an all-consuming, rotting hole in its existence that makes it hunger for soul energy, because its own soul is very messed up.
If only we had a therapy spell.
I know, right? Axon kind of did this, not intentionally. You think? It doesn't even remember Axon. It doesn't even fully know why it's doing this. It can't remember Limerence Street. But it just knows that the hunger is there, and it doesn't know why. And it being kind of on the other end of this cosmic yo-yo has kind of driven it to just grab up whatever it can in a desperate need to pull in soul energy, as it will never have what it had ever again. You think Axon has... There is a part of you in the back of your head that is saying Axon has been using your research to try to do some kind of a soul graft. And you think this creature was the result. You didn't do it on purpose, but...
Oh, well, I don't know that makes it any better.
Yeah.
You were a bad lady, Aroshka.
I had the option to become that person again. I said, fuck no.
So, that's the insight that you're gaining here. And you are distracting it, once again. Is there anything you want to, in this moment, is there anything you want to communicate to the Seeker? You're in its head.
Oh gosh. Maybe just not like a sentence or a phrase or anything, but just like a feeling of like, I don't know, like friendship, wholeness, togetherness, power of friendship. I don't know that it'll help any, but
Internally, you're in there. You're trying to give it sort of a mind hug. And it is crying out in agony. It's this kind of thing where it's sort of beyond, well, it's not sure right this moment what's happening. Shah, would you like to do something?
I would. Shah stands up and sort of steps back a little bit, like half a step, and casts Caligula's Raptor, which is a level 2 uncontested spell on the environment. And basically what it looks like is she just throws up her arms, and like from her hands come this like dark shadowy mist, and it congeals into this gigantic raptor bird that flies in a circle and goes right around and covers where the seeker is, so that there is no visibility, no way for the seeker to see out from where it is.
Uncontested, you say?
It says level 2. So it's a spell on the environment. I conjure a shadowy mist in the form of a giant bird of prey that swoops down and obscures all sight in a small area. I can cause the raptor to move anywhere in long range each round. This is not an action.
So the best it can do is try to lash out blindly.
Yes.
Right.
And then I'm going to scoot back towards Mac so that I'm within reaching distance of the mirror, because I have a backup plan.
Okay.
If it gets out. But I'm going to hold this raptor on the seeker as best I can.
It is pitch black.
Well, it's only where it is.
Only where it is? Okay, all right. So you can kind of see this thing, and the mirror is close enough that it's still having an effect. And I think that was everyone, yes? Okay. I wonder, Jim thinks to himself, what does Monte Cook have to say about blindness in Invisible Sun? Jim searches for the word blind. Jim does not find it. So he's going to make some assumptions. This field is going to make it difficult for it to try to attack someone. It's going to try. As this thing is surrounding it. I cannot see who it is lashing at. It's going to try to move toward the soul. It's moving toward the nearest soul. It would want to lash out, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and delay it for this action. It's not going to get its action this turn.
Hooray! I mean, it did just get a soul hug and then get plunged into darkness.
very
That's gotta be
distracted
disorienting.
right Okay.
So was that one round with the mirror on it? Or was that ours?
I'm calling it 2.
Okay.
I counted the first round. It's okay. It was part of it. I'm going to draw a new card now. For this round, it's the rat. I can see already. Looking it over here. The rat is the companion of mysteries. Duplicates the effect of the previously played card if played first in his... Okay, right. And so it's basically the same bonuses are in effect as were happening last round. So, what would you folks like to do? You've got Aroshka has a mental connection with this thing running right now. Mac is standing holding this mirror at it.
How many seconds has it been? Like, do we know how much longer we have to hold this mirror up, approximately?
About 5 seconds.
Only? It's been 2 rounds?
No, you need about 5 seconds.
Oh.
You've got about 5 seconds left-ish. Maybe less.
It's like 1-ish more round.
Basically through to the end of this round.
Okay.
It's going to get one more turn, probably.
Okay. Let's see, what can I do? Gosh, it starts at 12 for anything with...
It's magic.
I'm gonna try to disrupt its mental patterns again. So it's a level 3 spell.
Okay.
Which takes it down to a 9.
I'm going to give you, because of what Aroshka has done to it, a bonus of 2.
Okay, so that takes it to a 7. And I have my ability to understand magic that lies outside codified practices. So
this certainly does.
It's a 6, and
This is forbidden practices, for God's sake.
Yes. It's a 6, and then I will spend my last sortilege point to get it to a 5.
All right, and you'll get 2 dice.
And I get 2 dice. Not the flux dice, thank God.
You got a success. What does this look like?
So this is the same thing I did before, where like Vor's eyes light up for a moment, and it deals 3 damage.
All right.
3 mental damage.
It had not had an opportunity to recover from that, and it's so. Yeah, so you've basically wounded it here. All right. It's not doing great. It's like. What's everyone else doing?
Now, Mac, now.
Yeah, I'm
How
gonna
many more rounds?
keep the darkness around it. So if it's moved, I'm gonna keep the darkness located around its head, and then I'm gonna, which is not my action, and for my action, I'm gonna pick up one of these many hand-sized objects that Aroshka had thrown around, and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna chuck it at the wall behind the seeker, so that if it does need to come out of the darkness, it's going to come out away from us, not towards us.
Okay.
Do you want me to make an accuracy roll of some kind?
Yeah, you're essentially trying to trick it with accuracy. So it doesn't get any. I'm not going to give it a defense against that.
Okay.
I'm also going to give you the 2-point bonus because it's thoroughly confused right now.
Okay, and I'm going to put an accuracy bene towards it to make this awesome.
Okay, so you've got to do 3 or better, basically.
I did not.
You did not do 3 or better. It heard it. It's still kind of confused. It's hard to say what's going on.
All right.
See, Mac, Aroshka, what you want to do?
I feel like at least for this round, I'm a little tapped out.
You could use your action to refill your empty sorcery.
That's true.
Cool.
Or you could talk to it. It depends on what you want to do.
I think I've decided that isn't going well. I'm going to attempt to refill my sorcery pool a little bit.
No
How
problem.
do I do that? How
That is
do
an
I do
action,
that?
I believe. And so you just
How much do I get?
You can refresh one pool per action.
yeah.
So the
So
whole
you can
pool.
get all
Yeah.
of your pool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so what you doing? Can't hear you. Sorry, you're muted.
Mac's a little pissed that Shaw got hurt, so he is going to take a slash at the creature
All right.
while making sure that he keeps the mirror in place.
It's still distracted by everything that's going on to it, so I'm going to negate its. I'm going to negate its defense. So I'm negating its dodge here, basically. So you have it's just you're starting at a base of 8.
Okay, so I'm using my martial art, so that takes it down to 1.
Okay.
How can I use all of my accuracy, Bene, for this?
I think it's just the 1. I think.
It's the 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7. So that brings it down to 6.
Mm-hmm.
I use 1. And then I guess I'll use 1 sortilege.
Okay. No, make it magical, so you can use 2 dice.
So what's that? Isn't that 5 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else I can bring to bear on this?
Unless you want Sagan to do something, I'm trying to.
No, it's the only thing that Sagan does right now is just grants me 1 intellect.
Sure.
So, all right. So we'll go with 5, I guess.
Alrighty.
Oh wait, does my weapon factor in at all?
What does it say? It's got. Does this have a particular?
It's a level 2 sword.
Level 2. Yeah, we'll apply that. So
Okay.
3.
3. Okay.
Awesome. How much?
Okay.
It's level 2.
Level 2.
Those two.
And I believe a sword is a medium weapon, so that does 4 damage.
Okay. Good. That's
And I also have my secret,
You do have your secret.
and so that gives it a +3 to the 4.
Good God. Okay. This thing's on the ropes. It looks like right now.
Okay.
It's now like it's trying to come forward. Well, it's actually hard to see that it's on the ropes, but Arushka can tell that it's on the ropes. And it's sort of the way that it's howling. It's kind of half crying, half howling. And it's going to lash forward. It's going to try to hit someone. So
Do it now.
I think they're going
Come
to.
on.
Since since Mac, you're right there, and you were the last one to hit it physically. It's got kind of a sense where you are.
Sure.
So this is going to be. It's going to be versus right now. Again, it's reduced. It's going to be a level. It's going to be a level 6. You can either dodge or withstand if you've got either of those.
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to throw anything in to this?
Maybe my martial art, Eskrima, assuming that I'm still in a bit of a defensive stance.
Yeah.
So that, I guess I can use can I use a movement, Bene?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll use that.
So that would be down to, I think, 4?
Yeah.
Okay. that much. It misses. Lashes out. Just barely its claws going past you. And then the mirror right next to it pulses in your hand. And Arushka sort of hear this. Not that. You hear that. But also,
Gentle feline screaming.
it's this sound that's kind of like, you know, when someone is going to break because they're very confused and they haven't felt mercy in a very long time. And it's sort of just, it's like the tears come, internally the tears come unbidden at just the thought of mercy. This thing sinks to its knees. And you get the distinct impression that it just doesn't want to be here anymore. And then it's not. So, you've seen the action of a toilet flushing. You've seen water poured into a drain. The colors from everything around all of you for a moment seems to spiral down into the mirror in Mac's hand. Drain-like. Reality itself for a moment. Corkscrews downward into it. And then you hear this sort of a... And you're back in the alley. And there is no seeker. It's just an empty alley.
Did we do it? Wasn't it supposed to swap?
Well, we could go see if the street's back.
But maybe we should get Shaw some medical attention first.
I'll be fine.
I'll like put Shaw's arm around my neck and like help her.
All right. Mac is going to cast another spell. He's going to cast Psychic Missive.
Okay.
And he's going to send out a call to, I guess, the equivalent of an emergency medical service.
Yes. It's privately
The
contracted.
actuality.
Yeah, the Gerent contracts sort of EMT-like folk. And so that's a thing. Definitely is a thing. It exists. They'll be here shortly. This is the second time I've taken a 911 call in a game this evening.
Can we limp our way? How far is this alley from where Limerick Street is supposed to be?
Limerick Street is supposed to be a block away.
Let's go see if it's there.
Let's do it. I'll help Shaw limp.
Yeah.
You
I'm
limp
good.
your way-
I'm fine. Fine.
You limp your way over. And you go past Dullahan, the edge of Dullahan, and then you see this tall statue that wasn't there in the middle of a street in front of you, on a pillar.
Is my book there?
You limp in. You see Limerence Street. And yes, a few blocks up, a little further north, there's a house that looks like a book. And a column of energy surges up from it and into the sky. Something just happened over there. Hard to say exactly what it was. But it appears that the street has returned.
I'm gonna start making my way towards the giant book.
So, what was the name of the child spirit that we?
That's Thomas.
Thomas.
Oh, so Mac is going to start calling out for Thomas through the spirit realm.
There is quite a lot of of activity just at the moment, but you start doing that. Are there any... I will ask, though. I think we're going to resolve a lot of this perhaps next time. But are there any things in particular that anyone wants to just do real quick this session before we get into the aftermath, which will happen most likely next time? Especially if anyone won't be here next time.
I mean, I think that Shaw will kind of like take her arm off of her and be like, I'll be fine. You go with them. I'm gonna go put myself back together. And she's gonna head off because I won't be here next week.
Well, the EMTs will arrive and they will.
Yeah. So Vor and Shaw are gonna go to the hospital.
Yeah, I will take Shaw to the hospital and then take a
with champagne.
So this ambulance cart will pulls up, a horse-drawn ambulance cart, which the two of you get in, and they take you to the hospital. And looks around as Arushka and Mac look around, and Arushka is going to be dealing with her house probably very soon. Hey, is there anything quick you wanted to do with it, or are you going to?
I'll be here next week, so we can deal with the house that doesn't really like me very much anymore next time.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything immediate that you needed to get out of the way with it.
I don't think so. I think you can wait.
All right. It's definitely back. All right, then.
The only thing that Mac is going to do is he's going to pull out the card for Darren of the Numa and just double check the address. And as he's walking with Arushka, he's going to look for 223.
And you are indeed going to find it. And within there is someone who looks remarkably like the Darren that you saw earlier in the train station. But we're going to go ahead and bring the immediate stuff to a close then. Congratulations, you have brought the street back.
Ooh.
Oh my God, we did plot.
No.
What? There are going to be a couple of choices coming up for you folks very soon. I believe we actually have another guest next week, so that'll be in the mix as well. But we are on the precipice, the very edge of Chapter 3. of the end of chapter 3. Just have to actually get a couple more. I need a little more information, so we're going to have like one more session where I got to find some more stuff out from you folks, and then I can send in answers, and they'll hopefully give me more information. But we made it. And the street is back. Well then, we shall go around and do our outros. And again, sorry to careen us toward an end here, but I figure we've gone over an hour 15. I figure it's probably I think we're good. I'm falling over. So we're gonna go ahead and do our outros. We're gonna go around again the opposite way from the original. Feel free to say any thoughts you had about this session and where folks can find you, and we shall start with Danielle.
Raconteur on Twitter, you can find me tweeting about nerdy things. As far as other games, you can find me now on Roll for Change with 4 as the number 4. That's at noon on Saturdays. I play in a Fate game called Star Wars Vagabonds, which is about a bunch of scoundrels. And then also starting on January 31st, Dresden Files, the Portland Files game, will be back on Roll for Change with our season 2. So come check those out. And my dog says hello, and that's all I've got.
And Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. My full schedule for TTRB RPGs can be found on my website, which is aninogaming.com. But the next show you will find me on is Wednesday on Welcome to RPG, where I will be continuing my adventure in a new continent in a game called On Prosperous Winds, GM by Atomic Firebird. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, again, on this coming Wednesday. So this session was great. Very high drama, high conflict, and a lot of really weird, fun stuff. I just thought that the dichotomy between us in the shoe store and then us in the alley was just really funny. But yeah, really cool stuff. Enjoyed it a lot.
Excellent. Yes, and there was a lot of me trying desperately to remember the rules. Sooner or later, I'm sure by the end of the campaign, I'll have it figured out. Shortly before the end of the campaign, and then it'll end. But yes, definitely. And Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm on Twitter as Animus Panthera, and I'm on most places as either Animus Panthera and Animus.Panthera. I'm a real life zoologist, and I love talking about animals, cosplay, and gaming. The only place you can find me playing games on the internet right now is here on Saturdays. It's the only one I do at the moment. And also at the moment, I'm giving away some dice on Twitter. So if you want to win some dice, go there.
Yay! Do you have any thoughts about this session? Or
I think Anino covered it pretty well. Yeah, just like shenanigans, followed by like, wow, serious plot business is afoot.
Indeed.
We achieved something plot related.
The thing happened. My God. There's acumen coming, by the way. I forgot to do the thing again. Oh God. We'll sort of in between. Think about joy and despair, folks. See if there's anything that comes up. But in the meantime, I'm going to we're going to move over to Djinnaya.
Hi, my name is Djinnaya, and you can find me at Djinnaya on Twitter or anywhere. And I'm not playing any other online games right now. So, yeah, but I had a really that was a really good time. And thank you very much for Jim for letting us run way over so we could defeat a monster. That was very satisfying. And I definitely had a moment like after Shaw got hit, remembering like a section of the book where they talk about, Invisible Sun isn't really a direct conflict kind of game because direct conflict is very painful. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I made a punchy character for a non-punchy game. I should probably figure out other tools. What are my other tools? So yeah. But yeah, it was cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, that leaves me. And once again, we'll I should go around and do Joy and Despair. I should do that because I know I'm gonna figure out the acumen sort of as sort of an in between thing. But right now my brain is melting. I think if you folks don't mind, I'm just going to ask just on this occasion to do Joy and Despair in the interim. Until my brain is no longer melting. Hi, I'm Jim, and my brain is melting. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. On Monday nights, I'm running Deadlands over on Tales from the Grim. This coming Wednesday, we are going to have the premiere of Our Masks campaign here, Wednesday evening, our session 0, and we're going to just sort of go through our characters and figure stuff out. Then back around to Saturday, where we'll have more of this. Also have a premiere coming up a week from Sunday, which there will be many announcements about shortly, but it's Ghosts of Saltmaw. That is a game which I believe again uses that indie set of rules called the Dungeons and the Dragons, but it's dark matter. It's in space, so that's coming in again late January, I think a week from tomorrow. Sign-ups are open right now for a short campaign of Apocalypse World that I'm going to be running next month. That's just a monthly mini campaign for February. That's going to be on Tuesday nights. Sign-ups are open through Wednesday the 29th of this month. So if you're interested in diving into that, go check that out. Soon I will have sign-ups open for a couple of one-shots of The Fall of Magic, which will be taking place in early February. If there's any interest in that, you can click on RPG sign-up down below, or go to jimyesthatjim.com, click on Game Sign-up. As always, beginners are more than welcome. So when we hit the end card, we're going to do a raid. Let's see. Was thinking to raid off the table. They're kind of actually on break just at the moment. We'll do a break raid. Why not? They're doing their Otterthon. They're about to do Dungeons & Dragons. That's strange, the Dungeons & the Dragons game. For their final game. Their first Otterthon. I ran Don't Rest Your Head there earlier today. And this is their monthly gaming marathon that they're going to do to try to raise funds to keep the channel going. And so I highly recommend folks check that out. So again, I'll feel free to hang on with us as we go and say hi to them. That will be again when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all so much for hanging out with us and being here. Take care. And I will see you next week. Farewell.